Welcome to Jetpack Compose 1.5 Essentials. This video will guide you through setting up your Android development environment and introduce you to the basics of Jetpack Compose, Kotlin, and Android Studio. Whether you're a seasoned Kotlin programmer or just starting out, you'll find step-by-step instructions and practical tips to help you get started quickly. We'll cover everything from downloading Android Studio to configuring your system, installing SDKs, and creating your first Compose project. Let's dive in and make your Android app development journey smooth and efficient. Jetpack Compose 1.5 Essentials is designed for both experienced Kotlin programmers and newcomers. If you already know Kotlin, you can focus on the Compose-specific chapters. If you're new to Kotlin, start from the beginning and follow along. The book and this video ensure you have all the foundational knowledge needed to build Android apps using modern tools and techniques. No matter your experience level, you'll find clear guidance and practical examples to help you progress confidently. Make learning easier. The book provides downloadable code samples and Android Studio project files. You can access these resources online and import them directly into Android Studio. Simply click the Open button in the Welcome dialog, select your project folder, and hit OK. This allows you to experiment with real code and see how Compose projects are structured, making your learning hands-on and interactive. Your feedback is valuable. If you find errors or have questions about the book or your setup, you can contact the publisher directly via email. Known issues and solutions are also listed online. This ensures you always have access to the latest corrections and support, helping you avoid common pitfalls and stay up to date with Compose and Android Studio. For installing Android Studio, make sure your computer meets the minimum requirements. You'll need Windows 8 10 11 64-bit, macOS 10.14 or later, Chrome OS with Intel i5 or higher, or Linux with glibc 2.31 or later. At least 8 GB of RAM and 8 GB of disk space are recommended, along with a screen resolution of 1280 x 800 or higher. These specs ensure smooth operation and efficient development. Android Studio is the main tool for Android app development. Download the latest version from the official website. The book uses Android Studio Hedgehog 202311 with Android API 34 SDK, but newer versions may be available. If you need an older version, check the archives or search online. Always use the version that best matches your project requirements. To install Android Studio on Windows, locate the downloaded executable and double-click to start. Follow the setup wizard, choose your installation location, and select Android Studio and Android Virtual Device options. After installation, launch Android Studio from the Start menu or pin it to your taskbar for easy access. The book assumes installation in the default Program Files directory. For macOS, download the DMG file, open it, and drag the Android Studio icon into the Applications folder. Launch Android Studio from Applications, and for convenience, add it to your dock. The installation is quick and straightforward, making it easy to get started on your Mac. On Linux, extract the downloaded tar.gz package to your desired directory. Open a terminal, navigate to the Android Studio bin folder and run /studio.sh to launch Android Studio. The installation process is flexible and works across most Linux distributions, making Compose development accessible to Linux users. When launching Android Studio for the first time, you may be prompted to import settings from a previous version. If you're new, simply proceed without importing. The setup wizard guides you through installation type, UI theme selection, and license agreements. Choose the standard installation and your preferred theme, then review settings and accept licenses to complete the setup. During setup, you can select either the Darcula or Light UI theme. This choice affects the look and feel of Android Studio. After making your selection, proceed to finalize the installation. The theme can be changed later in settings, so pick what feels comfortable for your workflow. Once setup is complete, the Welcome to Android Studio screen appears. Here, you can start a new project, open existing projects, or access additional tools. The interface is user-friendly and designed to help you quickly navigate to your next task. Familiarize yourself with this screen as it's your starting point for all development activities. After installing Android Studio, verify and install additional Android SDK packages. Use the SDK Manager from the Welcome dialog to check which SDK versions are installed. For broad compatibility, install Android Upside Down Cake, API Level 34, and older versions like Android 8 Oreo. This ensures your apps run on a wide range of devices. See detailed information about installed and available SDK packages. Enable the Show Package Details option in the SDK Manager. This reveals updates and lets you select specific versions for installation. Keeping your SDKs updated is crucial for accessing the latest features and maintaining compatibility. In the SDK Manager, switch to the SDK Tools tab to view and install essential tools like Build Tools, Emulator, Platform Tools, Google Play Services, and more. Make sure all required tools are installed and updated. These tools are necessary for building, testing, and running Android apps efficiently. For Windows users, the Intel x86 Emulator Accelerator (HAXM) installer is recommended for faster emulation. Note that it's not available on Apple Silicon Macs. If prompted, allocate recommended memory for optimal performance. This tool speeds up virtual device testing and is a key part of your development toolkit. Android Studio includes command line tools for advanced tasks. Install these tools via the SDK Manager by selecting Android SDK Command Line Tools, Latest. After installation, add their paths to your system's environment variables for easy access from the terminal or command prompt. Use command line tools, add their directories to your system's path environment variable. The process varies by OS. Windows users edit system variables, Linux users update, and macOS users add files to etc. paths D. This step ensures you can run tools like a DB and AvManager from any terminal window. On Windows, open the Control Panel, navigate to System, and edit the path variable and environment variables. Add the SDK CMD line tools and platform tools directories. Verify by running echo %path% and a DB in the command prompt. If tools aren't recognized, check your path entries for errors. On Linux, add export path lines to your bashrc file in your home directory. Include the SDK platform tools, CMD line tools, and Android Studio bin directories. This allows you to run Android Studio and SDK tools from any terminal session, streamlining your workflow. On macOS, create a file in paths D containing the SDK CMD line tools and platform tools paths. Use sudo to create and edit the file. This method integrates the SDK tools into your system path, making them accessible from any terminal window. Android Studio is resource-intensive, but recent versions allow you to adjust memory settings for better performance. If you have enough RAM, increase IDE and daemon heap sizes in settings. This can speed up builds and improve responsiveness, especially for large projects. Keep Android Studio and SDKs up to date for access to the latest features and security patches. Use the Help Check for Updates menu to manually check for updates. The SDK Manager notifies you when new SDK versions are available. Regular updates ensure compatibility and stability. Setting up your Android development environment involves installing Android Studio, configuring SDKs, and adjusting system settings. These steps ensure you're ready to build, test, and publish Android apps using Jetpack Compose and Kotlin. With your environment ready, you can focus on learning Compose and creating amazing apps. With Android Studio installed, it's time to create your first Jetpack Compose project. Launch Android Studio, click New Project, and select the Empty Activity template. This template is pre-configured for Compose, making it easy to start building modern Android apps. Set your project name, package name, and save location. Choose API 26, Android 8 Oreo as the minimum SDK for broad compatibility. Select Kotlin DSL for build configuration. These settings help organize your project and ensure it runs on most Android devices. If your Android Studio interface looks outdated, enable the new UI and settings under Appearance and Behavior. Turn on the Enable New UI checkbox and restart Android Studio. The new interface offers improved usability and a modern look, making development more enjoyable. The Project Tool window in Android Studio displays your project files and structure. By default, it's in Android mode, which organizes files for easy navigation. Switch modes using the menu at the top of the panel to view files in different layouts. This helps you manage your project efficiently. The Main Activity KT file contains the code for your app's main activity. Double-click to open it in the editor. Use split mode to view code and UI preview side by side. This file is where you'll write Compose functions and manage your app's main screen. Android Studio's preview panel lets you see your UI as you code. Use code mode for editing, split mode for code and preview, and design mode for UI-only view. The preview panel updates live, reflecting changes instantly for a smooth development experience. The main activity class is a subclass of component activity. It implements the onCreate method, which sets up the Compose UI. The Compose demo theme function wraps your UI in a material design theme, and Surface provides a background. The greeting composable displays text, and preview functions let you see UI changes instantly. Preview composable functions, marked with at preview, allow you to see UI changes without running the app. You can configure previews to show system UI and test different data values. This feature speeds up development and helps you visualize your app's appearance. The preview panel supports live edit, instantly reflecting minor code changes. For example, changing text or font size updates the preview in real time. Significant changes may require a build and refresh. If the preview is out of date, use the Build and Refresh button to update. Jetpack Compose and Android Studio are separate products. The Compose version used is specified in the Bill of Materials (BOM) in your build, Gradle, KTS file. Check the Compose BOM entry to see which library versions are used. This ensures compatibility and helps manage dependencies. Use the BOM to library version mapping web page to identify which Compose library versions are used in your project. You can override BOM versions by specifying them directly in dependencies. This flexibility helps you maintain compatibility and control over your project's libraries. You've now created a Compose project, explored Android Studio's features, and reviewed the generated code. The code editor and preview panel are your main tools for development. Next, you'll modify the template code and write your own composable functions to build your app. Let's extend the Compose demo project by adding new composable functions. You'll create demo text, demo slider, and demo screen, introducing state and event handling. These components will be arranged vertically using a column composable, demonstrating Compose's flexibility and power. Compose allows you to build a hierarchy of composable functions. Built-in composables like surface, column, spacer, text, and slider are combined with custom functions like demo screen, demo text, and demo slider. This structure makes your UI modular and reusable. Demo text is a composable function that displays a message with adjustable font size. It uses the text composable and accepts parameters for message and font size. Import necessary libraries for font weight and size. This function demonstrates Compose's flexibility and parameterization. Add at preview composable for demo text to see it in the preview panel. Change the message and font size to see instant updates. Live edit lets you experiment with different values and see results immediately, making UI design interactive and fun. Demo slider is a composable that displays a slider for adjusting values. It accepts the current slider position and an event handler for changes. The slider composable is configured with padding, value range, and an on-value change callback. This enables real-time interaction and state updates. Demo screen combines demo text, demo slider, and a second text composable in a column layout. It uses a mutable state variable for slider position, updated via an event handler. The layout centers components and adds spacing, demonstrating Compose's layout capabilities. Preview demo screen with show system UI enabled to see how your app will look on a device. Use the preview configuration picker to adjust device type, screen size, orientation, API level, and locale. This helps you test your UI across different scenarios. Switch the preview panel to interactive mode to test UI behavior. Move the slider and watch the text components update in real time. This feature lets you simulate user interactions without running the app on an emulator or device, speeding up development. Finally, ensure demo screen is called from the surface composable in main activities on create method. This displays your UI when the app runs on a device or emulator. You've now built a simple Compose app with interactive elements and state management, ready for further development.